Alright, so in order to start gluing, I need to put out some paper. Nothing's worse than having a messy, glue-filled work area. So I'm just going to throw out a couple of pieces just to keep my my cutting mat from getting messy. Put this on part of it. I'm going to need one more sheet over here for gluing. And here's my prototype. I'm going to pull this thing apart. I don't need it together anymore. Be very careful when you peel these off because you don't want them to rip off huge chunks of cardboard. Pull those apart. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to put down is I'm going to want to put down my design. Okay, and the design goes on this side, it goes on the left side, because when we put the book in, we're going to pull that over, and we want that design to be on the cover. So that goes on the left-hand side. So let's just get started. I've got a brush over here. I had it in the water. I'm just getting the excess water out of it because we don't want a lot of water in the brush. It'll dilute the ink, the glue. So what we do is we just start around this design. You got to make sure that you just work from the center going outward. You don't want to try to get too much glue in there, but you definitely want glue in your debossed area. So and when you get to this stage, you're going to want to just sort of like pat it a little bit and get rid of those big glue trains in there. I've got a little paper towel over here and I'm just getting a little bit of the glue off. Alright, that looks good. Nice even coating. And I'm just going to throw this right into that space using my guidelines. And you have about 3 seconds to set that up. So, ooh. Okay, good. Paper towels on my fingers. Can't have any glue. This thing has to go away. I'm going to set it over here and let it dry. And let's put out a couple more. Flip it over onto that space, and then using another sheet and a bone folder, I'm going to burnish this whole thing. I don't want to touch the fabric directly. I'm going to go around the edges a little bit. Make sure you get the corners, because the corners are the first thing to pop up. Okay. And once I get that, I'm going to come in here and you really should start with the center and get the fabric down in there first. So, okay, let's peel this thing back up. Take a look. It's looking pretty good. I'm just going to use my fingers to push these. Right now what's happening inside of this, you can see that in the light, is there's glue under there, but it's not quite dry. So sometimes when you press down, it pops right back up. So I'm just going to keep pushing it down as it's drying. I'm trying to train the fabric and stretch the fabric. And this is where I might come in with the bone folder. Without rubbing, I'm just going to push it up against those edges, because if I rub, I'm going to burnish and put shiny spots, and I don't really want shiny spots on the fabric. I just want the fabric to be impressed into the space. So the bone folder stretches it even further. Too much pressure can cause the fabric to break, to rip or tear. We don't like that either. So this is probably one of the areas that is the most troublesome, because it takes time. It's hard to know when it's done. I'm going to spend a couple minutes here. I can see a little bit of glue sticking up through. I'm going to take a clean paper towel. I'm just going to push. Just keep pushing into those spaces. All right. Yeah, it's still wet under there. I think it had too much glue on it. And this is just one of the classic problems. Because there's so much glue, it's not drying. So even though I'm pressing down and wanting it to stick, it won't stick because it's still too wet. Alright, no need to get impatient. You can see what it's doing there. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Cooper Black, lowercase t. Lovely. The next stage of this thing is to